in the term of social system in the village, there was textile shop, there was grocery shops, there was sweet shops, tea shop, pakoda samosa shop, as it's a large village. There was a cobbler. He was also attached to each house. So that was basically the structure.
What was the origin of the village? Why was it named Jadala?
And the origin of the village is from Jandiala. There is a village named Thabalke. Thabalke is about 1 mile from Jandiala to the west. And about the story which is given to the children, that the cattle, when they went for feed toward the west, their milk dried up. When they came to the east, and the milk was more produced by the cattle. So there were 4 brothers from Thabalke village. They decided to set up their house in Jandiala. And they settled at Jandiala. And Jandiala is named after, because there was a tree called Jand. It is still there in the village. When you go next time, you can visit that tree. And from Jand to Jandiala. So that's how Jandiala name came into the being.
So what does Allah mean?
Ala means Jandwala, like
Place.
yeah, Jandwala, Jandiala. So rather than saying Jandwala, Jandiala, more flow. So there is a magazine produced, I don't know which I have or not, giving all the stories about Jandiala. So that was, all the roads were no tarmac roads. Around the village, several ponds where the rainwater from the village drained to the ponds, and in some ponds there were fish, and people used to catch fishes. And the pond near our village, its water used to be very clean, because it used to be only rainwater. No house water used to come into that. In 1953-4, that ring road around Jandiala, there took consolidation of land. And before that, there was no ring road, and that came into existence in 1953-1954. In terms of as child playing, we used to play near our house with other children, boy with the boys, girls with the girls, and sometime outside in the field. For example, defecating was in the fields. No flush toilets in the village. And everyone used to go outside the village into the fields nearby the village. Women used to go in the evening, and some women used to go in the morning. and they went in groups rather than individual. Men went individually. So that was the sort of structure I was brought up in the village.
And you're talking about partition and communal violence.
Yeah.
How did that affect the village?
The communal violence and the partition affected the village. One, that almost all the Muslims they left the village before August 1947 because of the anxiety and fear of being murdered or attacked.
Was there any persuasion by the people of the village that they should stay and that maybe they'd be safe, or?
Yes, the Hindus and Sikhs, they pleaded with them to stay. They will give protection. As a matter of fact, there was no murder of any Muslim in village Jandiala. But still, most of the Muslims, they left. One Muslim family from that family, a boy used to sell paper on the bus stand. That man, Mamdin, has a daughter. Two wrestlers in the village, they abducted her. And the village seniors come to know. They chased them, and about 2 miles outside the village, they caught up with them and got the woman back, brought her back to the family, and assured the family that they will protect them. That family is still in the village. But all the Muslim boys who were in my class, 4th, they left. Monitor was Muslim, and I went to meet him. When I went, there was a big lock on their house door. I was so annoyed because I was told that they have left for the refugee camp nearby Jalandhar.
How old were you?
I was 9.
You was 9.
I was 9 years old. Also, the Muslim villages nearby Jandiala, they were attacked, put on fire, but Muslim didn't come to attack Jandiala, but there were rumors of Muslims going to come and attack Jandiala. And me, my brother, and sister, my parents, they locked us in the village house to protect us and stood as guards outside the village people. But nobody came, and it was all rumors. And on the basis of rumors, the naughty people, they find that as excuse to attack Muslim villages. And because of that fear, the Muslim left the villages. One village nearby, Samrai, one village when we go to Noormal, Chueki, and several other villages, Muslims left for the refugee camps from where they were transported to Pakistan.
And how many? What would you say that the size of the Muslim population was that left the village? What proportion of the village was Muslim?
Almost 95%.
95% were Muslim?
No, 95% Muslim population left the village.
Right.
But otherwise, they were only 5-6% in the village.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because they were like oil crusher, cobblers, and Marathis.
What happened to their property? The Muslims that left?
The property was allotted those people who were uprooted in West Punjab.
Right, so people that were coming into the village
Yeah,
were allotted the properties of people who had left the village.
who left the village.
Right, okay. And what was the governance system of the village?
System was the panchayat, sarpanch, and then panch. Currently there are 11 panches and one sarpanch. In those days I don't remember how many panches and
Are they the
one
equivalent
sarpanch.
of a councillor?
They are equivalent of the councillors. At present, Makhan Pallan is the sarpanch of the village. They get funds from the central government, they get funds from the state government. And they have like the management of the bus stand. It is under village panchayat, and also panchayat, which is land reserved for the panchayat. They get rent from that land, those people who till that land. Those incomes, and also the grants from the central and state governments.
And what was life in terms of the annual festivals that happened in the village?
Annual festival, Diwali, it was celebrated. And you've seen those earthen lamps?
Yes.
With the mustard oil in and the wick inside. Some people, they lighted candles, but very few, because I have to buy that from the shop. And Diwali celebrated, and the feast was about having laddu made at home, Diwali time. Vaisakhi festival, that is in the gurdwaras in the village. There is one gurdwara outside nearby the canal. That's where big gathering used to take place on the Vaisakhi day. Wrestling matches, singing, kabaddi matches, and also praying in the Sikh temple. People prayed, and that's another festival. One festival in the month of Magh. Magh is in November, and families went to and still go to the Gurdwara to pray and have prasad at Maghi. In not all village, but in some village, the festival of Holi, spraying colors on other people. In Jandiala, there was no wrestling festival, but at our Nanka village, Sring, once a year wrestling festival. In Shankar, like those villages, they invited wrestlers to have wrestling match, and they awarded them.